and I guess the whole franchise tag thing is a topic for another discussion. Because if I'm a player, why am I signing that? There's no loyalty. There's no promise. It's a 1 year thing. And football, I mean, as everybody is, people, you guys know, I mean, you're one play away from your career or season
Not
being over.
for long. Not
Yeah.
for long.
Yes.
Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and on today's Top Shelf Tuesday edition, NFL Free Agency or Draft Special. So as we start the new league year and legal tampering and all of those good things we are talking about, hey, let's get going. The Combine was last week in Indy. Legal tampering starts March 10th. NFL teams can officially sign free agents March 12th, even though stories are trickling out. And, of course, the NFL draft begins Thursday, April 24th, with the first round. Second and third rounds happen on Friday, April 25th, with the final four rounds Saturday, April 26th. So this week, our panel is going to give advice. We're not doing all of the teams, but we're going to give advice on should you address your needs via free agency or should you address your needs via the draft? They have all kinds of data, including the franchise tag, the draft order, as well as how much money teams have available. Segment one, we're going to do the AFC. Segment two, we're going to do the NFC. And in segment three, we're going to give you teams to follow in the offseason. So let's get started. Will, you got the AFC North in front of you. Is there anybody of note you want to talk about?
Oh, in the NFC North?
AFC North. We got Baltimore, Cincinnati, Cleveland, or the Pittsburgh Steelers. Any team catch your eye?
It'd be the Bengals. I think the Bengals are very interesting. They have to pay a lot of people right this year. It's not smartest to pay both. They're going to pay receivers to get paid both time. But that's their bread and butter. You know, their offense is how they move forward. You know, that's how better they get. So they have some money to go. If they can get T. Higgins to get on the franchise and get on board with this long-term plan they're going, because they have to pay Jamar Chase, and he's going to get paid like a non-position quarterback that's going to be right up there with quarterback this year. We'll see what happens. They still need defense. I think they're gonna benefit from Chris Brown because they don't have to pay him for it right now, and he looks like he's coming up to be a really good running back. They don't have to worry about Khalil Herbert because, you know, if you already have a Chris Brown, then you can go get somebody in the draft who's younger, and that's the name of the game. But yeah, I think they can play this like flexible thing where they can grab they can fill some veterans, and also they have to hit on their draft picks as well. So I think the Bengals are going to be very interesting. They have just amount of cap space to fill their needs, but they also have to draft very well because again, they had a really bad year this year, in my opinion, by not making the playoffs. They really got to shake things up to get to the playoffs.
All right, the winningest player, the history of Coach Adams. Sean Sears is joining us. Sean, anybody AFC North catch your eye, or we're good?
Steelers. What are the Steelers going to do with their quarterback situation? Are they going to keep Justin Fields? Are they going to keep Russell Wilson? What's going on with that? That's
now. How would you address that though? Would you try to draft somebody? They tell me this kid Jackson Dart is pretty good and he might still be available, or do you go out and pay either Justin or Russell, or maybe you call Aaron Rodgers? I don't know.
Hey, if I'm the Steelers, I would keep Justin Fields. He was already been in your system for a year. You know, there's no need to go draft a quarterback. Give Justin Fields some time. I mean, nobody has actually give Justin Fields some time to work. They've always just quit on him before, give him a chance. Give him a chance, see what he can do. That's what I would do if I was the Steelers.
Okay, Damon Pigram, the coach's coach himself. Damon, anybody AFC North catch your eye, or you're good?
To kind of piggyback on what what both gentlemen were saying, I would say Cincinnati. The problem with them is they have a track record for not paying players. So you got to give Jamar Chase his bag. T. Higgins is, I mean, if you want to win, you got to sign him. And I guess the whole franchise tag thing is a topic for another discussion. Because if I'm a player, why am I signing that? there's no loyalty. There's no promise. It's a 1-year thing. And football, I mean, as everybody is, people, you guys know, I mean, you're one play away from your career or season
Not
being over.
for long. Not
Yeah.
for long.
Yeah. So I would say Cincinnati. They wasted.
Joe Burrow.
They wasted this year. I mean, he had a MVP quality season for nothing. And so I would say Cincinnati, and then I'm curious to see what Pittsburgh does. I'd like to see Justin Fields get a shot, like a legit shot, not kind of the sandbag approach that he got this past year. And you know, but they're throwing around too, Aaron Rodgers as well. And I don't think the personalities with him and Tomlin, I just don't see that one vibing. So
Okay.
I'd like to see Justin Fields get a shot.
All right, and making his maiden voyage, Jeremy Charles. Thank you for joining us. Anybody in the AFC North catch your eye, or you good?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm with the panel on Justin Fields running the table in Pittsburgh. I love that. I'm curious to see what the Ravens plan on doing with the wide receiver position, because outside of Zay Flowers, and I feel like he's inconsistent, that could be me. What are we gonna do there? I feel like Lamar deserves it. I want to see what's going on with Ronnie Stanley, just because I want him to come over to DC. So I think AFC North has some things going on to pay attention to for sure.
All right, Cotton Man, we're going to the AFC South. Any team catch your eye that you want to say, hey, here's some advice for you?
Oh man, we're getting close to the Colts, man. They're getting close. They got to pay Anthony Richardson. That's going to get very expensive. So they have to really make some big decisions. I've been here. They're talking to even Aaron Rodgers. I think there's other quarterbacks that they've talking to. But you know, that's the Colts, man. They like to pick up old quarterbacks and they like to let them go and do their thing. I mean, there's a history of it. I mean, that's their jam. So I don't know if they're going to pay the money for Anthony Richardson. They have a quarterback. They have a running back who's very expensive. This is a recipe that does not work for winning currently in the NFL. If you're not winning right now and everybody needs money and the running back is the most expensive piece right now, it's very questionable. They have a lot of need of things. I don't think they're good enough that they're going to make a splash in free agency or draft unless they get Jesus to make a huge jump. So I think it'd be very interesting, especially from the quarterback standpoint, where they're going to go with money. Because at the end of the day, they got to either draft again, go get a veteran, or they just go reach and give Anthony Richardson the bag. I disagree with that, but we've seen crazier things.
Yes, we have. All right, Sean, AFC South. Any team catch your eye? Any interest?
No.
And that's okay. Damon, anything in the AFC South catch your eye, man?
I wouldn't mind seeing Tennessee being relevant.
They got a draft pick coming.
There you go.
Other than that, nah.
I love the realness of us. This is beautiful.
It seems like they're leaning towards the young brother from Penn State, the DN.
Yes, and that injury does not bother me in this week draft. I'll take him. Take him and let him get healed.
But they have so many different issues. I mean, I don't know what that solves. I mean, that solves one little piece, I guess.
Yeah. All right, Jeremy. Anything in the AFC South catch your eye, man?
I think I'm out on the AFC South, man. I think it's unfortunate that the Texans have zero competition or anything to worry about. Anthony Richardson does not deserve a bag. So there's nothing to talk about there.
Go Jacksonville. Oh, inside show joke, folks. Inside show joke. That guy's getting paid to do nothing. All right, Will. We are now moving on to the AFC East. Any team catch your eye? I am sure you like Buffalo.
The funny thing is, I'm very interested in the Miami Dolphins. And Damon will agree that they were the antithesis of the Eagles. They did the opposite what happened. They signed A.J. Brown just like they signed Tyreek Hill. They signed Waddle. They signed Devontae Smith. They gave Jalen Ramsey the bread. They gave C.J. Garner-Johnson the bread. They signed Tua. They signed the Hurts. They did almost back-to-back identical maneuvers, and they got the whole opposite of what they got. And now they're stuck in a situation where now they're short on money. And the biggest thing they need is, and which is crazy and ironically, is a backup quarterback that's going to cost them a little bit money. So they're going to have to shed some money because they're already $5 million over the cap. I'm sorry. So we'll see. I don't know if they'll be able to get Javon Holland because they're going to have to get rid of a lot of guys. And then hit on the draft. And if you know about the Dolphins' history, they are not known for hitting in the draft. So we'll see what happens. But it's just interesting, the whole contrast of the same philosophy of money and how they brought free agency. So I just thought it was interesting.
All right, Sean. Anybody in the AFC East catch your eye?
Yeah, man. Jets got a black head coach, so
Go Jets.
I'm interested to see, the one season they're gonna let this brother get. That they give black coaches a short leash.
You are so right.
So I'm interested to see the season they give this brother, man. Me personally, I see why he left, but I would have stayed in Detroit, man.
You gotta get it. Hey, but 32 jobs, man.
Last year, he was like, I ain't coming out here.
I would have stayed in Detroit, but I'm interested to see what Aaron Glenn does, and because I heard yesterday that they're thinking about having Tyrod Taylor as their starter, and I was like, okay, interesting.
That brother forever. That brother,
checks
can't get rid of him.
All right, Damon. Anybody in the AFC East? By the way, the BCA is real. Okay. Anybody in the AFC East?
No, I mean I think it's Buffalo's to lose. I mean, they're the best team in the conference.
Now, don't you gut Buffalo? They've lost. Don't you gut the fish now, or do you roll it one more time?
Nah, you keep rolling it. I mean, they're there. I mean, the problem is they keep running into Mahomes or Lamar Jackson.
Do you pay James Cook? Do you pay him premium money? I mean, that's what's on the table, really. Like, do you pay him like an elite running back, or do you kind of reach out there and see what's going on?
Has Saquon changed the way we look at running backs?
Not according to the franchise tag. You have the number in front of you. You have the number in front of you. So data says no.
Yeah. But Cook balled. I mean, that last game, I forget who they lost to.
Bless his heart, but it's still what, 13 million for a running back? That's the franchise tag.
Million.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay. Is he a game changer? I don't know. I mean, that's a risky.
I can't remember who they lost to. I guess it was Kansas City.
Yeah,
but Cook balled that game. I mean, he ran.
All true.
He ran angry, and so I'd like to think that's something that they can build on.
All right.
Yeah, so Jeremy, I like
Buffalo. Anybody in the AFC East, sir?
I guess I gotta go and keep an eye on the Patriots. They have a lot of similar needs. They have a ton of money to spend, so we can always run up the bag. Drake May can be a guy, right? We have money to spend. They have a couple draft picks, right? So it'll be interesting to see how they go. But I'll be honest with you, it's the Bills show, right? So we'll see what happens.
Show. All right, AFC West extended time. Sean Sears, tell us all about the Raiders, sir.
We have a lot of money. We have a lot of needs. We need a quarterback. We need some receivers. We need a running back. We need a tackle. We need some linebacker. We need everything, man.
So how do you want to talk to me about the quarterback? What does Sean want in terms of a quarterback?
Listen, I was upset when I heard that Stafford was signing back with the Rams because I thought I was like, ooh, we could get Stafford. I heard he was talking to Tom Brady. I was like, ooh, but I would have loved to have Stafford, but that's not happening. People was saying,
you want Shador?
Listen. Shador, Cam Ward, I don't. It doesn't matter to me. All these quarterbacks that are out, they're similar on the same level to me. Shador, Cam, even we just said Jackson from what was it?
Jackson Dart from Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, yeah.
Ole Miss.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah,
I like him.
So we could get a quarterback at the sixth pick. I would want us to get if Shador or Cam Ward is available. I would like that. If we could get running back from Boise, which is what
Ashton Jensen.
At Jensen, yeah, the the runner up for the Heisman. I would love him, you know. But my Raiders, the one thing about my Raiders, we don't tend to do the smart thing. We tend to try to outthink teams.
And remember, your wide receiver is inmate number 68675-309.
Listen,
So you had addressed that, but he wanted the Georgia hit, and
that
not
draft,
drive right.
that draft, all those picks are gone now. They're off our team. It's just so we draft terrible. So I don't.
All right, Damon. Anybody in the AFC West catch your eye?
I mean, it gets the Chargers. I mean, to see them finally make that push. You know, they're wasting a generation.
They're turning the corner, my friend. They're turning the corner.
I mean,
inside show joke.
Yeah, Harbaugh's supposed to be the guy, but Justin Herbert. I mean, he's too good for them to not have a playoff win. You know. And,
he is good, and
good.
Every year I get sucked into the Chargers. Looks like I get sucked into Carolina. All right, Will. Anybody in the AFC West catch your eye?
I'm with Damon, man. I mean, if you look at the Chargers from last year, they lack a lot of really dogs. They don't have no dogs. They got rid of Keenan Allen. They got rid of Mike Williams. They got rid of Eckler. They don't got the guys that can make that difference in that offense, because let's be real, Herbert is not like a Josh Allen. He's not a Lamar Jackson. He's a really good quarterback, but he needs help. And I'm wondering if they're looking at Stephon Diggs. I'm wondering why they're not in the T. Higgins raffle. I wonder why in that. I mean, they need a first receiver, you know, and T. Higgins is right in there for them. But I haven't even heard their name in there. Unfortunately, I hear they're going to end up with Deontay Johnson, because I know that's how they roll, man. I'm not with that either, you know, but here we go. This is a team who believes that he is bigger than he is. You know, here we go. Harbaugh thinks he is the god of football, but he hasn't really won enough to me to believe that he is. Okay, you're beating Michigan. Great. You haven't won shit, really. In my opinion. So we'll see what happens. I mean, if you're not in on the best receivers and that's what's needed for you to do, you got to hit on the draft, which I think they will be very aggressive. But I mean, you're looking at, you know, DeAndre Hopkins, you're looking at Deontay Johnson, you're looking at Amari Cooper. I'm surprised I haven't heard them even talking to going to Chris Godwin. I mean, these are players that they should be looking at, because that is the success that's going to get them further. And Justin Herbert, I mean, you need to give him a dog. Jordan Palmer is not it. You know what I'm saying?
Cooper Kupp.
McConkey, you know, McConkey is a great guy. I think he's a good number 2, but they need a number 1, and they haven't been in the voice or talking like they're going to be one of those teams in that. So we'll see what happens, but they have money, so they'll get somebody.
All right, Jeremy, close out the AFC West. Anybody of interest to you?
Hollywood Brown. Where's that show going?
I'll leave it at that. Hopefully he can get through a season. So when we get back in segment 2, it's all about the NFC, and can't wait to hear about the NFC East with all of these fans here. We'll be right back on the Odd Coaches Podcast. This is Dr. Keith Adams, president of the CKA Save Project and author of Finding the Balance, my personal journey to academic and athletic success. This book is your key to unlocking the secrets of being a successful student athlete. Drawing from my 30-year career as a teacher and coach, this instructional guide offers a unique perspective on achieving success in both academics and athletics. With over 15 personal stories and insightful anecdotes, Finding the Balance is a must-read for student athletes, parents, coaches, teachers, and administrators. Visit www.ckasaveproject.org to get your copy and start finding the balance today. Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast in segment 2. Let's move to the National Football Conference. Sean, the NFC North, anybody catch your eye that you want to talk about?
No.
And that's okay. Damon, NFC North, any team catch your eye that you want to give advice to? Help out.
Just curious what they do with the quarterback position. You know, do you stay with Darnold? Did you go with the rookie that they got from Penn State? Not Penn State. Yeah, was it Penn State?
Michigan.
Yep. So kind of curious to see what they do with them.
Yeah, Minnesota's got some questions to answer. I can understand that.
And then also too, Detroit they're losing coordinators.
Both.
And Philly went through that. Clearly recovered well from it, but want to see. Be curious to see how that impacts their team because they got a squad.
Yeah. All right, Will. Anybody from the NFC North catch your eye?
Man, it's our guy, Dan Campbell. We got to help the guy out. Obviously, he's been doing a great job, but man, he needs some help. But there's two players right now.
Tough loss right there.
They got just enough money. There's two players they should be looking out right now. Khalil Mack, and they need a Brandon Sheriff. That will address both of their issues. The guard internal, and we'll get the edge rusher on the other side, which Aiden Hutchinson will come back. If you're making a run, this window is closing. So I think they put the money in right now. They drop all that $44 million and say, let's go get Khalil Mack and Brandon Sheriff and try to run it back and go into
Push the chips in the middle.
Yeah, let's do it.
Push the chips in the middle. Jeremy, anybody in the NFC North catch your eye?
I would like to pair Chase Young back up with Montez Sweat in Chicago. They were good
sure
friends.
They'll be available.
Who?
I said I'm sure Chase Young will be available.
Oh yeah, he's definitely on the market. I see him going to Chicago, have bookend DNs, run it back.
All right. Okay. So we're going to go NFC South.
Hey, real quick.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Will, just to piggyback on what you said too. Detroit is nice. The injury bug hit them in the worst way.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, to have 20 players or so on IR and most of those guys on the defensive end, and for them to be right there. Come on.
So Damon, since you brought that up, I got to put Coach Pickram back in. That was a bad loss at the end, though. How do you come back from that shellacking at home? That's what I want to know.
Once again, I mean, you had a Washington team that was hot. I mean, they were on the heat, and you're missing people on the defensive end. I don't think most people expected that it would be like the score would be that big of a discrepancy. But I don't find it a complete shock that Washington beat them. By how many they beat them by, that was a different story.
That's a hard off season. Yeah, that's a hard off season. Okay.
I'd say injuries, though.
I'm going to stay with you, David. NFC South, anybody catch your eye?
Ooh.
And it's okay if they didn't.
New Orleans, change of scenery, new coach. Atlanta, let's see what Penix can do. Carolina wouldn't even finish 500 in the Big Ten.
Stop it. Because I'm going to do another season-long bet with him.
Yeah. So.
All right. Sean, NFC South, anybody catch your eye?
Yeah, I want to see Atlanta, Penix, and they need to start letting this. They need to start giving Robinson more carries, man. He's a stud.
I want to see no money. You better do something because I don't see a lot of money there. Okay, Will, anybody NFC South, sir?
Oh, we'll talk about the Saints. They got a nice coach. He just got a Super Bowl ring. Nice, Kellen Moore. It's going to be a little different when the cupboard is empty. When the fridge is empty, you ain't got, Saquon Barkley. You ain't got, Jalen Hurts. You ain't got A.J. Brown. You ain't got Devontae Smith. You got to figure
that cap space doesn't look good.
And the cap space, you're $54 million behind the cap. So we'll see. Good luck with him. You got to get. They hired him for his creativity, so he's gonna have a lot. You're gonna have a lot of that.
You're gonna have to be creative
in New Orleans.
I hate that data. That data looks bad. All right, Jeremy, NFC South. Anybody catch your eye?
I really enjoyed watching Tampa Bay this year. I thought they were a cool team. I think it'll be interesting to see how they get over the hump of having to build a team without the potential of Godwin, having Baker be the leader of that. So I don't know. I'm excited about it.
They got $27 in cap space.
Exactly. What are they going to do, man? Because it's unfortunate because I really liked Tampa Bay last season.
All right, NFC East. Let us start with the champs. Okay, Damon, what does Philly have to do to repeat, sir?
One, resign Zach Bond, linebacker, and Mekhi Beston. Other than that, I mean, they got. I'm not sure how much salary cap room they have, but they have everybody coming
18
back.
mil.
Okay, but they got everybody coming back, and there's rumors about Myles Garrett coming, and if he gets there, it's a wrap. So,
Browns GM wouldn't do that.
But Howard Roseman too. He's got in the draft. You want to go draft wise, he's clearly has a track record for being in love with Georgia people. So I know Georgia's got a really good safety, a really good linebacker.
Just get them Ubers.
If they get back Vaughn, I think they're good, at least for next year, until they start losing people to free agency with salary issues. But
all right, Jeremy, you are up. You will do the Washington Commanders for us with extended time and $75 million in the pocket. What do you say, sir?
Tons of money, and I think we'll need it because we don't have any draft picks after picking up Debo, right? So it'll definitely be interesting to see what we do. Only free agents I'm bringing back is Chin, maybe, because I wouldn't mind drafting Kevin Winston or Watts out of Notre Dame, because we're definitely going to have to trade out of that pick 29. Wagner's coming back just because he's besties and linebacker veteran presence.
It's 107.
Huh?
He's 107 years old.
He's 107, but we drafted this guy named Jordan McGee last year, who everyone is high on. So hopefully we can continue that development. And then we just need to figure out tackles. So going back to the Ravens, I'm hoping we can pull Ronnie Stanley out. Hopefully we can grab what's the name? Kevin Zeitler from the Lions, right? He played with Lamar as well, so he has that run blocking for quarterbacks ability. I would love to see it, but we definitely need to shore up both sides of the line. Pray that Myles Garrett doesn't go to Philly, because that'll be a problem. And then carry the draft the way we carry it. We need to hit halfback. We need an edge. We need guard with Sam Cosmi down. The team has a lot of holes, so like even with the money, there's a ton of holes. So it'll be interesting, like the balancing act that they play. I would love to go after what's the dude's name? Charvarius Ward, Carlton Davis. We need someone else on that outside to match with Marshawn Lattimore, and pray that investment also goes the way that we planned. Noah Igbenogany is a 25-year-old free agent that we had last season. I would bring him back on a lower tier deal. But yeah, the team has a lot of holes to fix if we want to keep up with Philly and everybody else and run the table again. I love the fact that we have all this money, because we're definitely hitting free agency way harder than we're hitting the draft this time. And we're trading out of 29 for sure.
Will Cotton, anything to add, sir?
Oh, just two things, man. You got to, we got to be scared about Philly, man. They're not scared to spend money, and that is changing the game for them. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference, really, to be honest with you. Just not being scared to spend money. That kind of gets me a little worried, because they're very an attractive place for a lot of big-name free agencies, and I don't want to put Myles Garrett, but, they're an amazing organization, so they're just doing what they got to do right now, and they're changing the game.
Not let that happen.
They can't. But I think other teams need to get on the same mentality that if you're trying to win, put your chips to the table and let's do our thing. It'd be interesting too about the Cowboys. I mean, not interesting, but the Cowboys are doing the same thing they did last year. They're gonna kick this can for Micah Parsons down the road until it gets way, way, way too expensive, and then they're gonna bitch about it, and then they're gonna sign them anyway, and they'll be in cap hell forever, because they got three players who will be locked up so bad that they can't make any moves and get any sort of talent unless it's through the draft, and they haven't really hit on nothing in the draft in a decade or so. So I don't know what the Cowboys are doing. They need to really hire a GM, somebody, because this is the same cycle going over and over for them. We don't see it going bad. So those are my comments for the NFC East. And of course, I'm very excited about my Commanders. I hope they make some good make some decisions. They got Debo for a great price. Which shows that they really are invested in JD5, which I appreciate. But now go get some offensive line, protect him. That's key for me. And see what happens, man. And the Giants, man, I don't care. Mike King, I ain't talking about no Giants, man. I ain't talking about that trash. Yeah.
All right, Sean. Anybody in NFC East? You got a bunch of friends who are NFC East people. Any team catch your eye this offseason?
Still can't believe the Giants have their coach and the GM. That's just can't believe they kept their job.
All right, Sean, I'm gonna stay with you. NFC West, as we close out the NFC. Any team catch your eye in the NFC West?
No,
and that's okay. Damon, NFC West. Any team catch your eye?
I'm kind of, well, I'm not sure if I'm happy about it, but the fact that they kept Stafford and they came to an agreement. Talk about Philly. They were right there. They had a shot to win it. But if they can bring back him, if they work out the whole Cooper Kupp thing, I'm not sure how that's going to pan out. He's gone. Okay, but them keeping Stafford, I think helps. San Francisco, losing Debo is a big hit. I don't trust Arizona by any means.
Well, didn't they get Brandon, somebody that's supposed to be his replacement? Didn't they draft his replacement last year, Brandon Ayuk or something like that?
Oh, you talking about they signed him for a deal, long-term deal.
Yeah.
Ricky,
so is he any good?
He wanted to go to
Ricky. Yeah, thank you, Rick. Yeah, whoever. Somebody's there that's supposed to replace him. But
you talking about dude who got shot?
Yeah,
somebody there. Yeah. So that's not convincing you, Damon, about him, huh?
No. And how good is Purdy anyway?
Shaq likes him.
I am not sold on that guy. He had a good year 2 years ago. I get it. He was the last pick of the first round. I get all that stuff.
He's got to get Trevor Lawrence money too. That's the bad part. Who's going to pay him? Anyway. All right. Will, what do you think? NFC West.
Man, probably the Rams, in my opinion, because remember a year ago, right now, we were thinking the Rams were packing it up, getting ready to reset, and they were going to say, "Oh, well, I guess we're going to figure it out what's going with the next session," and they ended up winning the West, and they ended up getting to the playoffs, and then they re-signed Stafford. So they have money. They actually have some money that they can get rid. I've been reading some things, and that if they wanted to, and it could be very interesting, if they traded Cooper Kupp for Tyreek Hill. Basically, you'd be swatching contracts. You would get the end of Tyreek Hill in the last iteration of the Rams. Trying to make it to the Super Bowl playoff, the good push. It'd be interesting. They have everything they need. They have a tight end. They have a decent offensive line. They have a pretty good defense. They have a running back that they don't have to pay just yet. They have a good young, receiver, that's pretty good that they don't have to pay just yet. Why not trade that, and see what's going on? I'd be interested if they make that move. I know they need some help, and they need help in wide receiver. So why not take that step? We'll see.
All right, and Jeremy, finish off the NFC. Do you care about anybody in NFC West?
I do not care about the NFC West. I am interested in seeing the deconstruction of San Francisco and how that will happen. Do you how long do you keep Kyle Shanahan and let his vision play out? Because the team is starting over, if we're being honest. So
yeah, early.
All right.
And if it starts with Brock Purdy, that ain't where you want to start.
Exactly. So do you really hang on to that, or do you just start over?
All right. So in segment 3, we're going to tell you which team is positioned to kick off their Super Bowl campaign. We'll find out what the panel thinks. We'll be right back on the Odd Coaches Podcast. This is Dr. Keith Adams, president of the CK Safe Project, with a question for you. Are you passionate about supporting student athletes? If so, then become an official member of the CKA Save Project and make a difference today. With your membership, you'll be able to help us provide essential academic and athletic support to underserved communities nationwide. Join us in empowering student athletes to achieve their full potential, both on and off the field. Together, we can build a brighter future through education and sports. Visit ckasaveproject.org and choose your membership level now. $25 is a bronze level membership, $50 is a silver level membership, and $100 is a gold level membership. Be a part of the change. Become a member of the CKA Save Project today. Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast in segment 3. As we are into the off season, we're going to say which one team is positioned to take a next step in each of the divisions. Will AFC North, which team, if any, is positioned to take the next step?
It's got to be Cincinnati, man. It's gotta be Cincinnati. They were on the doorstep. You know, everybody got healthy. They got, it was too much. They didn't make it at the last time. I think they're good enough that they're going to play hard off what happened in the previous season. They're going to take that energy as long as they get everybody healthy into this season. And I think they're going to make a jump, at least comfortably get into the wild card.
Okay. Sean, AFC North, any team catch your eye in terms of being positioned to take the next step?
You know what? I'm gonna watch out for the Steelers, man.
Okay. I'm sucked in every year myself, so
Tomlin going to do the right thing with Justin Fields. I think. Watch out for him.
Okay, Damon, AFC North, anybody positioned to take the next step?
I'm going to think a little bit outside the box. I'm going to say Cleveland, just because
they got no money.
I was going to say, just step up. If you win 4 games, that's a step up from what they've been. So I think they'll get either Cam Ward or they'll get Shedeur Sanders. They'll go to quarterback, and they'll get 2 or 3 more wins than they had last year. So that's my step up.
All right, Jeremy, anybody from the AFC North ready to take that next step?
Bengals, Ravens. I'm gonna leave it at that. Their continued success, just progression. That's it.
All right, Will, AFC South. Anybody in the AFC South, you're like, that's the team to watch.
Unless if it ain't Houston, that's it. Ain't talking about nothing.
Okay, David, AFC South.
I'm gonna keep the theme going. I'm gonna go with Tennessee. If they can win 4 games, then that's a step up. So I'm gonna go.
David gonna have me doing a season-long bet with these fools. Sean, anybody from the AFC South?
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback with Damon. Tennessee.
Okay.
Tennessee.
Jeremy.
Since they got a high draft pick, they got the first draft pick.
Yeah. Okay. Jeremy, anybody from the AFC South?
Yeah, Brian Thomas. I want to see Brian Thomas next season. I want to watch all of his games.
I don't even know what team he plays for.
Jacksonville.
Good. Go Jacksonville. Okay. Will, AFC East. Who's taking the next step for the AFC East?
Ain't nobody taking no steps nowhere, man. Ain't nobody going. The Buffalo will be good enough to get to the AFC Championship again at most, but they're gonna run into somebody that they ain't gonna beat. I ain't with it.
Sean, AFC East.
Yeah, it's not gonna be nothing but the Bills, man.
Okay, Damon, AFC East.
I'd like to see Miami, but until they can prove to me or anybody that they can win a game under 40 degrees. I'm
not a fan of McDonald. I can't even lie. Everyone who listens to the show, this guy has done a whole heap of nothing and gets a lot of kudos and ain't won nothing. So you got to excuse me.
But Keith, us being the elders of this panel, we remember when Miami was relevant.
Yes.
Dan Moreno. And
I've had
like
a great steak at Don Shula's restaurant.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, so we know how much better football is. We know how much better football is when Miami is relevant.
Yes.
So hopefully
we do need them to be relevant.
Hopefully they can do that.
All right, Jeremy, anybody from the AFC East?
I would like New England to be out of the top 10 next season for draft picks. Yeah.
Okay. All right. David, I'm going to start with you for the AFC West because I'm going to close with Sean because he cares. Anybody from the AFC West, sir?
No, I'm gonna stick with the Chargers. I just want to see them. I'm not gonna say I want to see them do well, but once again, them being relevant, them having a generational talent in Herbert, I'd like to see them make that jump to the next level.
All right, Will, AFC West, are we gonna do it for a kill?
I'm not interested. I have no investment personally in this, but the Chargers have to win a playoff game. Period. They have. It's not going to happen. I don't think it is. I'm not a believer. But they have to, because I'm tired of hearing about this Justin Herbert kid. He's good. That's it. He's not Mahomes. He's not Josh Allen. He's not those guys. But he has to win it. He has to win at least. Even C.J. Stroud has a playoff win. You have to win something, bro. And that's all. If you don't win it, then I don't care about it. I'm okay.
Jeremy, AFC West. Any team catch your eye that's going to make that next step?
To me, Justin Herbert is Joe Burrow. So if we can make it to the playoffs, then I'm happy with it. But outside of that, I'll watch the Broncos, and that's it. Hopefully, we get to progress.
Okay.
Team.
Sean, go ahead and sell us on your team, man.
Hey,
AFC
man.
West.
I just hope we can improve, make some smart decisions, man. That's all I hope.
Shador.
Okay. All right. Will, NFC North, who's going to make that step? Go ahead.
Man, I think Chicago. I was going to say something about Detroit, but, we are Commanders fans. I can't even rock with Detroit no more. I got to rock with the team that beat them. But I think Chicago is going to they're really going to battle with Green Bay because their rosters are very similar. They're reaching this kind of a balance where they're going, and we're seeing who's going to really excel the other one. I think that Minnesota, we'll see. It's a fluke season. We'll see if they can duplicate it. I doubt they can because they don't have the same, I guess I would say, the more consistency of all the players going around. They're worrying about their quarterback. They're worried about this. They're worried about that. Aaron Jones is not as good as I think he is. I think he's a fumble machine. Forget that guy. But it's going to be really interesting between Green Bay versus Chicago going that season. I think they're going to be fighting for that second team that comes out the North. If Chicago can turn the corner with Ben Johnson, we'll see. So we'll see what happens.
David, NFC North.
I'm gonna go Green Bay. They were right there. They're a playoff team. They got pieces. I mean, let them get a wide receiver, a more reliable, like a number one. I mean, they got a bunch of like number twos and number threes. But I think Jordan Love, he's going to come into his own moving forward this next year. I think Green Bay.
Yeah, he's paid like it. Okay, Sean, NFC North.
Yeah, I'm with Damon with the Green Bay. I do not, unlike Will, I don't think Chicago is going to challenge Green Bay. I think Green Bay would be the second team coming out of that division.
All right, and Jeremy, NFC North. What do you think?
I think Will hit it. Green Bay, Chicago is going to be a nice little matchup this year.
Okay. All right, Jeremy, I'm going to stay with you. NFC South, anybody for you? Catch your eye in the South or down South is trash?
Down South is trash, but we're going to keep an eye on the Falcons. And then, I like to see Tampa Bay and see what they're going to do, but I think Atlanta is going to hold it down.
Worst sports city in the nation. David, NFC South, anybody catch your eye?
I like Atlanta. I'm really curious with what Penix going to do. I think they're going to give him the keys, and Tampa Bay. I don't trust them. so much because it's more of a Baker Mayfield thing. I just don't like that guy.
And that's okay.
I just don't like that guy.
You're nowhere near Mike King level of petty with that.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
Sean, anybody, NFC South?
No, I want to see with Atlanta.
And
It's good to
Cotton
see if they
Man.
give Robinson more touches.
All right, and Cotton Man, NFC South.
I want to see if Bryce Young can make that next step. He's kind of a year ahead of way. He ended the season. He ended it really promising, which really, kind of at least got Carolina fans, Panthers fans were really excited about it. I don't know what weapons or receivers they're going to bring in that are going to help him out. But I would be more of all this in time. The South is probably I would see where his development is going. And could he shock the world and win the division? That's the only way to make the playoffs. So we'll see what happens. We'll see.
All right, David, NFC East. Tell us how Philly's going to repeat.
Well, that's the easy one. I'm not going to even talk about that. I'm going to talk about Dallas and how much I hope they lose every game for the rest of my life. And
Wow.
And
that's Mike King Petty. That's Mike King.
I hope they lose. And the way we can probably agree to disagree. The way they're treating Michael Parsons right now, I think it's a bunch of crap. They talk about him doing podcasts, blah blah blah. When this brother steps on the field, he does his job. Them L's and all that stuff that happens to Dallas, it has nothing to do with him. He balls. He balls. So anyway, Jerry Jones, the Cowboys, whatever. I hope they lose every game for the rest of my life.
All right. Will Cotton, the NFC East. Who's taking that step?
Man, I gotta rock with the Commanders, man. If we get the right pieces we gotta make, I think we can make some moves. A lot of people have been saying things, but if you piss off Micah Parsons enough, I mean, we have enough pieces we could trade for him. It'd be a lot cheaper than Myles Garrett, and he fits an immediate need that we need in terms of pass rush. So we'll see it's going to be a long summer. Jerry gonna have to really get his cards in ready because there are a lot of things that can happen. Anna Peters, he's like, man, look, I'm out here to make moves, and I'm very excited about it. Nobody else I'm really caring about. I don't care about Mike King, the Giants. The Eagles. I think the Eagles are that's the team that we got to play against, man. As long as Saquon is playing, and as long as Hurts is healthy, and AJ Brown and they still balling, we'll see. For them, their weakness is all internally. So as long as they can stay together, they're good. We just got to fight against them. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm with Damon. I love it that Dallas is falling on their faces. I love it and I got so many friends in this area, and I got so many as many Eagles friends I got in the area that pissed me off. I got even more in this area that pissed me off war. And I hope they're so sad. They was talking about. I had people that was Cowboys family in high school and middle school talking about, yeah, Commanders doing their thing. Man, y'all friends. Look at y'all. Y'all some Bammers. Y'all for real, man. Y'all some Bammers. I ain't mean it, but it's some Bammers.
Okay. Jeremy, NFC East, what you thinking?
You already know Chef AP is going to handle all the offseason perfectly. We're going to have our left hand up all season. It's going to be fantastic watching the Commanders run the NFC East and the playoffs. Hopefully we get to the big dance this year.
All right, Sean, NFC East, sir.
Hey, man. Yeah, I just like to see what the Commanders going to do.
All right. Anytime we can have Pokey be happy, that's okay. All right. NFC West, Sean. Anybody for the NFC West? Nope. Will Cotton, the NFC West.
San Fran was such a biggest disappointment. I want to see what happens. Nobody really believes in Kyle Shanahan. I don't either. So we'll see what happens. I mean, he's just running up the check right now, and he's having no results. So what's the next step? And I'm very interested because, again, got a lot of friends in this area who are San Fran fans, and they talk a lot of trash. So I want to see what they're talking. But that division is a lot better than they think, and it's not going to be just a cakewalk through that they thought it was going to be. So we'll see what happens.
All right, Jeremy, NFC West, what are you thinking?
I think the entire NFC West is going to be battling, right? I think it could be anybody's show for real. So I'm not really interested in it. I think it'll just be a random team making it, and that will be that.
Okay, Damon, close us out. NFC West, who's making a leap?
Well, just to co-sign what they were saying, that division is better than what people give credit to. I don't think Arizona is all that bad. They're solid. I think Seattle is solid. That division is much better than the NFC South and the other divisions. So I think Seattle is probably the team that could maybe make the biggest push to push the Rams for the division championship.
Geno's still quarterbacking, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Well,
I like Geno. So.
okay.
Yeah.
This has been fun, man. I love when we get a chance to do a supersized episode. So on behalf of our cavalcade of stars, I'm Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and or watching the Odd Coaches podcast. Also seen now on the Cascade Sports Network. And we will see you on the sidelines. Until next time, take care.
The Odd Coaches podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress, to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org. We hope you enjoyed today's show. The Odd Coaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Coaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the Odd Coaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Odd Coaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach Franchize. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches podcast.